Good morning, a very warm welcome into the form where we preview the best races coming up over the weekend with our expert analysis, and we're giving you a backstage pass here at Stanley Street as we make our way into the big studio where the form is recorded each and every week. And joining me once again this week is Leith Owinnis, Brendan Popplewell and Bevan Sweeney. Good morning to Leith, sitting at our usual big desk, and yes, the boys to take us through Trentham and Te Rapa, one of our features coming out of Trentham with the meeting moved from Awapuni. So let's have a look what the agenda is today for the form. Our feature preview, yes, the Manawatu Challenge Stakes, our Racetrackers, horses and greyhounds to follow throughout the week and beyond. Our Trentham features with the Manawatu Cup, Te Rapa features too with the Group 3 Eulogy now moved there, and our harness Group 1s with the Whale out of Alexandra Park and Invercargill, and our best bets to round out the show. So let's crack into it.
Standing on the start line for everyone to see, thinking it's about time to show what I believe. I'll find a way to win the race. Forget about the start.
Time for our feature preview on the form, and it is the Wait for Age Manawatu Challenge Stakes over the 1400 metres, and we'll have a look at the weather and track conditions. So Sweens, of course, the move from Awapuni down to Trentham. What's the weather looking like? Is that pesky rain still around?
It is a pip, and I do recommend that anyone that's going racing over Christmas, New Year period in the Central District, you should check out where you're actually running with those transferred meetings from Palmerston North. The weather forecast isn't great for Trentham. There's a little bit of rain as I drove in this morning there at Upper Hutt. There's further rain forecast tomorrow, not a massive amount, but Saturday from sort of middle of the afternoon there is supposedly quite a bit of rain to come. There's 32 mils over the last 7 days. The track's in good nick now. If we don't get a lot of rain, I think it'll come up in a reasonable sort of position, but look, the major probability is that we're going to be racing on a rain-affected track there at Trentham with the forecast.
Well, let's have a look at the market for the Group 2 and see who heads the betting in this. And we do have Coventina Bay back for her second start this prep at $3. Joint favourite with Darcy LaBella was, of course, the Group 2 winner last start. And then you have Balclair at $9. Brando is back too at $6.50. So time to have a look at the all-important speed map. Leith, who sets the tempo and where do you see the favourites mapping?
It's going to be interesting what the track is, like Bevan said. If it's a heavy track, obviously Deerfield looks like the only leader in the race, and if it's heavy, Providence provides. She hates a wet track, so it'd be interesting if she even runs.
Sweens, do you agree with where the favourites are sitting?
I think Deerfield's obvious. I think Providence provides from its draw, should be able to hold a trailing position. I think Old Town Road will put himself somewhere there, and then we've got a few horses who will be back in the run for sure, including Darcy LaBella. Coventina Bay from that drill, Oscillator will get back as well. Colorado Star might be a little bit more positive from his gate, but yeah, I think Leith's right on the mark for the speed map for the Challenge Stakes.
Well, let's have a look at one of the favourites, Darcy LaBella, taking out the Auckland Thoroughbreeders last start. And a key thing here, Sweens, I suppose this was a heavy track.
Yeah, look, she'll cope with any sort of track conditions. I think she's only a little pipsqueak, this thing, but gee, she can quicken up when she is right, and she's been right through this whole preparation, Leith. Look, her form coming in is the best in the field. She's from a right gate. She'll cop the track conditions, and look, she can sprint in any sort of ground. She's a real benchmark over the last couple of months.
Yeah, she is, isn't she, Bevan? Like, she's just improving every start. She's been very well placed by Ellen, but like her ratings are going up, and she just doesn't run a bad race.
Coventina Bay is also in this particular race. Now, we have to go back and analyse what she did fresh. Look, you'll give her one because we know she's quality. She's been here and done it. Now, this was at Awapuni, who record at Trentham's pretty strong as well. She's got an excellent turn of foot. She should be good enough on rain-affected track conditions, but the fresh-out run had to have a couple of question marks around it, Leith.
Yeah, look, some horses just don't really enjoy that track at Te Rapa, and I gave her a sort of a forgive pass mark. But on the face value of it, she was pretty disappointing. She had the apprentice on, and she didn't really make much ground in the home straight. But she might have been set for this race as well.
Yeah, her best would be winning. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and the market has to really respect her. Deerfield, well, look, I think he was at the jump outs midweek again. He just keeps on lining up this horse, and he just keeps on putting in. We sort of remember back to the beginning of the Spring Carnival. He was racing there, and he was racing in between times, and he was racing here in a Group 1, Leith. And look, you have to give him credit. Gee, he's tough, this fella.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad run, was it? He was there right to the last 50 metres. 1,400 metres on, if the track gets too heavy, he could be a knockout chance.
Yeah, look, he won't give in, especially if the rain comes. He will be a major danger. He's just had a wonderful preparation. He's been there and thereabouts continuously. We also take a look at Cavallo Veloce and Colorado Star. This is the pair running second and third at Hastings. Look, I think Colorado Star is going to be the major improver out of this particular performance. He's been very good at the 14 to the mile in his past.
Yeah, he's been consistent, but it's a bit of a rise in class from, I reckon.
Where else do we look at in this particular race? I think Brando's always had the rap on him. Belclair was a good winner. Providence provides a very nice mare, but every way you shake this, and I include Old Town Road and a horse that's going really well, and he'll be very, very well favoured if the rain does come. Look, every way we shake it, Leith, I'm going with Darcy Labella. She's just absolutely flying. She was spectacular last time. She was just as good at Harwood, a pride of that, in weight for age conditions. So you know what Alan Sherritt can do. He's amazing how he keeps these horses up and going over such a long period of time, and I think she'll be at her best at Trentham.
Yeah, I'm with you as well, Bevan. She's on the uprise. She's never going to run a bad race, and she's been supremely handled by Alan. I think she's a top winning chance.
Well, let's see what some of the trainers had to say to Adam Rodley on Tuesday, and we'll start with Mark Walker, and he just asked him what type of horse Brando is in his opinion.
Yeah, he's a funny horse. He goes a good one and then he seems to go a bad one, so it must be due for a good one, hopefully.
Yeah, it must be a little bit frustrating because of that, because you know the ability's there.
Yeah, he's had a few, niggles throughout his career and probably just catches up with him sometimes, but he seemed, Opie was really happy with his work this morning.
Yeah, look, she's flying, couldn't be happier with her. Really unfortunate, obviously, on Saturday for a few of the runners and the club. All that rain came after the track was looking perfect early in the day, so she's absolutely hopeless on that ground, so there's no point running, and obviously we had this option available to us a week later.
Going really well. She's actually just galloped now on the grass, galloped up really well. She's going to run at Te Rapa outside gate. Look, it's not going to be easy, weight for age. But she's going good. She's just worked over 1200 by herself and pulled up really good. So, no, she's run fourth in a stakes race. We're just desperate to get a thick end of that black type.
A couple of trainers there with some key insights, and you can catch that action. See who becomes a Group 2 winner on Saturday, and that time of the race, 3:54. It is Racetracker time, and these horses and greyhounds to follow coming up on the weekend and beyond. Leith, we'll start with you. Who have you found?
I'm going back to last Saturday at Te Rapa. Davichi Bell. She just got hammered on the inside here. She got shut out at a vital time, and look, she travelled up good and behind the leaders, and she just ran out of room. And they're talking about they might go to the Uncle Remus on Boxing Day. It's going to be a pretty hot field, but she's one to follow.
Yeah, very unlucky, wasn't it? And probably a decent race to be following, isn't it, with the winner being so good. I'm going to go back to the Wednesday meeting again at Hawke's Bay. I really do like the chances of Diva Dynasty when she lines up next time to the races. Look, the winner was really good. There's no doubt that Jessica Espelute was ready to win. But this horse was back last, had to come across heels, and then has flashed home, has run all the second fastest sectionals, and behind Jessica Espelute, who ran all the better figures, really good through the line. Watch you next time to the races.
Yeah, I think Guy Lowry is going to unleash over Christmas. There's plenty for him. I'm going back to the same race as Leith and Denby Road for our very own George Simon. Look, he's enormous. I met him at George's property a little while ago. He's got feet the size of dinner plates. My head came up to his rump. He is a massive horse, and he doesn't quite know how to gather himself yet, but when he puts it all together, this horse, I don't think he's far off the best 3-year-olds around.
And I'm heading back to my usual stomping ground, Palmerston North. I'm going for a greyhound called Big Time Brindley. That's her in the pink rug, flies out to the front, fresh up. Now, this is a super field on a feature meeting back on December the 2nd. She got things wrong at her next start and found trouble. She's in on Friday night at Palmerston North in an earlier race around race 3. She's up against a nice youngster, Big Time Raider coming up in that, but I think she can beat him. If she's not winning on Friday, she'll be winning shortly. She's a strong dog. She's got good winning times, and she's been up against some very good greyhounds in the past. So if she's not winning on Friday, she will be winning very shortly. So let's have a look at the summary for you. Our Racetrackers. Leith's with Davichi Bell, Diva Dynasty for Brendan, Bevan's with Denby Road, and I'm with Big Time Brindley. Those are your Racetrackers for the week. Time to have a look at the Trentham undercard. It's a massive day, including the Manawatu Cup. So let's have a look at heads the betting here. We do have Charm Star at 4.2. Has been a mover in the market, so did open up at $5. La Flora Bell at $5.50 and Soprano Supreme at $5. The other runner kept safe in the market. It's over the 2,300 metres. So Leith, where does the speed come from early?
Yeah, Sequinto will lead from barrier 15. He normally runs at pretty even sectionals as well. So there does look like a little bit of speed. La Flora Bella goes handy as well.
Bevan, your thoughts?
Agreed. Segunto's your obvious leader. Subtle point, he's new to this sort of grade, but he generally does go forward and find a spot. La Flora Bell, though she doesn't have the draw she had at Wanganui last time to find the trail, but you'd think they'd be reasonably aggressive with that particular horse. As we look at La Flora Bell, Charm Star, Platinum Invader, now the question is all about track conditions here. If Charm Star and Platinum Invader get good ground at Trentham, then they're right in the mix here. They may not even run if it rains, both of those horses. I think Charm Star, with the swing in the weights and the draw against La Flora Bell, I just prefer, but La Flora Bell, Leith, is going really, really well at the present moment.
Yeah, like you said, Bevan, Charm Star's gifted in at the weights at 53.5, isn't she, on her rating?
Looking at Soprano Supreme from the north, this performance at Te Tarapa, this was a strong 75, beating home Contemplation, who does have a fair bit of ability. Craig Zaki down to ride for Mark Walker. Sort of found the right position in my mind and did finish the race off really nicely. Leth, I wasn't really sure where to place this horse in this race.
Yeah, she's she's going to get the trip. This is 2,400 metres, so the 2,300 is going to suit her again. This stable is a really sort of better tracks than probably what she's going to strike at Wellington on Saturday.
One horse I'm quite keen to have a little bit on if it does get wet is Marietta Lane for Fraser or Richo. Dawes doing the riding here. 8-year-old mare by Z out of Lord Bellingham, so if it's wet, no problems at all. And Fraser's had a knack in recent times of doing this sort of thing. This was fresh up at the 1,600 metres. She's been very good in the Manawatu Cup prior, and if there's a bit of rain left, pretty tough mare who could be right in the mix.
Yeah, Billy Pin gave her a really good ride this day, and like you said, Bevan, if there is a bit of rain round, it's going to be help for her.
It's time to see who Aidan caught up with again at track work, and he starts with Mark Walker and just asked him how his two charges are heading into the Manawatu Cup.
No, happy with both of them, and both are coming off last start wins, so the move to Trentham's probably more of a staying test, which La Flora Bell, even though she ran out a good 2,000 in the Wanganui Cup, there's still a little bit of a question mark at the distance, but we're keen to find out how far she can get. And Soprano, well, she's already won over 2,400, so it doesn't hold any concerns for her.
Going really well. I thought her last win was tough. She's always shown a heap, and she won on Livermore Day. A good quality staying mare, and the Cup should really suit, and probably bigger track like Wellington's going to suit her even more.
Yeah, seem to be a bit happier with her. The last couple of weeks have gone a bit better. Obviously, we got her a bit wrong. She didn't blow after the Eagle, and then went to the 2,100 metre open race at Counties the other day and seemed to come to the end of it at the 250 there.
It's time for selection, so Sweens will go to you. Who have you put the circle around?
You can have $1 each way. I think if the track's okay, I'm keen to have Charm Star from that inside gate. I think she can race handy. She's been set for a race like this. I think she'll be right in the mix. But if it gets wet, I'm keen to have a little bit on Marietta Lane each way from a decent sort of gate with a decent sort of staying there. Can I say, great to have more racing at Trentham, most underutilised track in the country. It's a fantastic venue. We just should be having more racing at Trentham.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like you, Bevan. A little bit at each way. I think if the track does come back and it's okay, Charm Star. But if it's cutting out, it's a little bit weird. I like Margaret Jean. Look, there's been a little bit of money for her. She opened up at 14s and she's into 12s now as well.
I agree. Beautiful track, Trentham, isn't it? If you are in the area, make sure you get on down. 9 race program starting at 12:25 p.m. on TAB Trackside 1. Time to have a look at Te Rapa, where we do look forward to the Group 3 Lawmaster Eulogy Stakes. Of course, moved there from Awapuni after being abandoned last week at BP, where the rain certainly did come last weekend at Te Rapa. Is it going to be similar this weekend?
Well, it looks likely, Pip. Look, we've had so far around 23 mils of rain in the last 7 days. It's rained basically all night, and there's more rain in the forecast through Thursday, some through Friday, and again on Saturday. So soft 6 currently. We know the track can come back, but it's certainly taking a hammering at present. So it's a real watch on what happens with that weather, if there's going to be any break in the weather at all. But at this stage, there's a lot more rain to fall before Saturday.
Well, there has been some new additions to the race as well. So, Leith, speed map wise, where do you see the mapping?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a lot of speed in race, Pip. Look, Complicate will probably lead. But apart from that, I thought Opie would go forward on Sealed with a Kiss. It's the rail's out as well, so there's no clear leader in the race.
Let's take a look at the market for you as well, where yes, Complicate's the one that we've seen mapping in this race to leads. Currently sitting in the market at $16. You can see up the top, Tavachi Princess favourite at $6s. Sealed with a Kiss also there at $6 after just winning on that one start, and Sophie Mays at $7. So we're going to highlight a couple that have now been the new additions to the race. And BP, we'll start with Polygon, 5th at Pukekohe. What did you make of this run?
Yeah, she seems to be a progressive filly. She's a runner here that was beaten behind Sacred Satono. We know that's a very good form reference, and certainly the horses that are in front of her are horses that we're going to be talking a lot about over the next few weeks. Look, it's a horse who's been able to cope with soft ground, and one of the 6 starts that she's had, she has been placed on soft ground. And Leith did notice they're putting blinkers on today as she goes up to 1,600 metres.
Yeah, she's just been a little bit slow out of the gates, and hopefully the blinkers might just spark her up a little bit. But it was a pretty even run at Pukekohe, and you just see her, sitting just behind the speed, you'd think.
We'll have a look at Sealed with a Kiss now. This was a very good one, I thought, out of Hawke's Bay. Sam Weatherly was able to give this horse a good run in transit, and look, was able to drive away from them. I think it was a very encouraging signs with what we've seen here, Leith, over 1,200 metres. She goes up to 1,600 metres. That shouldn't be a problem. Look, she's well-related type by Tarzina, but a postman's daughter, and Opie Bosson takes the ride here, Leith.
Yeah, it's look, she tried up well before the race at Hawke's Bay, having her first start. I'm not sure how she ended up paying $20, to be fair. Like, yeah, her trial was really good at Avondale with Opie on, and obviously he likes her as well.
Tavernier, let's go back and have a look at that horse now. This was a horse who was winning on a midweek meeting out of Rotorua, and it's a runner that was back and did all its best work late up at the inside here, Leith. Saved a number of lengths on this occasion, did the 3-off filly by Mongolian Khan. This one also for Mark Walker. Ryan Elliott will take the ride with a good draw.
Yeah, it was a very good ride by Craig Zaki this day, and look, she was good to the line. You think she's going to get a mile easy enough as well.
Let's hear from some of the key trainers that have runners in. And Aidan just caught up with Stephen Marsh and asked him how far he did get to Awapuni before the meeting was abandoned.
Yeah, we got all the way down there the day before, and just a disaster really. But she's come home. She'll only have one gallop this week. She'll just gallop tomorrow by herself. She's obviously a long trip there and back, but she'll strip a good horse on Saturday. Probably just rode her a little bit upside down last start. So just ride her with a little bit more patience, and again, nice to get some black type with her.
Yeah, no, we did travel down there, yeah, but she's come through really good. We were home by 8 o'clock that night, and she's back in a paddock, and we paddock train them. So she's had Sunday off as well, and had a swim yesterday. And she's a big, tall girl, but she's pretty light, so she will just maintain her between now and Saturday.
Yeah, unfortunately she did, and she's a lighter frame sort of filly, so it's a bit of a juggling act with those sort of fillies, and I think the Eulogy being a week later will probably impact on horses wanting to get to the 8 carat as well, so it's a bit of a disaster for the industry really.
Yeah, one thing about the timing, Sealed with the Kiss, it probably really suits you so good last time.
Yeah, it'll be a jump from 12 to a mile, but that won't worry her. She's a big, strong filly, and she's bred to get over an oak strip actually, so be an interesting runner.
Yeah, Te Rapa doesn't always suit every horse, but I thought she ran quite well there 2 starts ago, so hopefully she should be fine.
Okay, we spoke about her preparation last time, and obviously a really nice win, and now you step up to group company. How's she progressed since last week?
Yeah, obviously it may affect some of them differently, the trip away, because I guess there might be a few new entries that don't have that disadvantage, but she worked really well this morning, so we're pretty happy. And
there certainly are a couple of new entries, so BP will go to you. What are you liking on top?
Yeah, this is an awkward race now, I think, with track conditions, the rail out, those horses that have travelled to Awapuni and didn't have a race. So there's a lot of different parts to this race now. I'm going with a horse that is effectively the fresh horse on the scene, you could say, from the Eulogy that was going to be last weekend and Sealed with a Kiss. So I was really impressed with how she won, and she picked up and she was so strong through the line. Yep, it is a jump from 1,200 to 1,600 metres, but happy to take that risk with her, with where she sits. She's around that $6 price, so I was happy to be with Sealed with a Kiss. What about you, Leith?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sealed with a Kiss as well, BP. I just think Opie will be positive out of the gates. He'll probably end up outside the leader maybe, and I think the step up from 1,200 to a mile will really suit her.
Well, that's race number 7 on the program. Another really nice race on the card is race number 2. It is the Open Handicap, and it is headed in the betting by White Noise at $3. You've got Asterix back, the Derby winner, at $6, and Paisley Park coming off that last start win at $6. So we are going to highlight our favourite White Noise. And what did you make of this run last start, BP?
Yeah, look, I think he's a really good horse. He's a horse that's shown his form through the Melbourne Spring. Of course, off the back of this run where he ran second equal in the Manawatu Cup, he's then finished third in the Sale Cup, and he's been able to run through the Melbourne Cup Week Carnival as well, where he finished into 5th position. Key things for him, he gets a couple of kilos off for this race with Kelsey Hannon aboard. She has won on this horse beforehand. That was on Foxbridge Plate over 1,400 metres. Track conditions won't be an issue for him. Just feel as though he looks to be an outstanding bet in the race. He was at $3.30 on Wednesday night. That has moved already to $3, and there could even be a couple of scratchings here. If this track starts to get beyond that soft 6 bracket and gets close to heavy, there might be a couple more runners that come out here, and you'd imagine it should suit him down to the ground, Leith. I thought he looked to be a real strong prospect in the race, White Noise. Yeah,
you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to put himself right there on the speed. Kelsey knows him. Look, he's going to handle all sorts of tracks if it's wet or dry. I just think he's a really good bet as well.
Let's have a look at Asterix now. This is the Derby winner. Of course, he's been off the scene, and there was chances of maybe trying to get to a Melbourne Cup preparation, but that was all put on ice, and he's come back slowly, and this was his most recent trial back on the 29th of November. I like what I see at the end of this trial, Leith. He was very good through the line after giving a soft run in transit, and I'll just be interested to see him and his progress at how he comes up for this campaign.
Yeah, obviously this race won't be his target race, but he's been trialling up really well. Opie's been aboard him both trials. Interesting that he's not on him Saturday.
Let's have a look at Paisley Park. Now, this is the effort of Paisley Park where it was impeded. There was a chance here that Paisley Park had he got the run here, he might have finished a bit closer to them. Now, of course, we know the race because it's Presafair out wide and Cinerama is unlucky, and those horses have gone on to be sub-winners. So this form in itself is brilliant with Paisley Park. I guess if it starts moving out further than that soft bracket, I know he's better on a good track, but he does have some wet form next to his name. But off the back of that run, stand alone, Leith, he'd have to be a chance. Yeah, you don't get better form than that. He was very unlucky. He probably wouldn't have won or run second, but he probably should have been a length closer in the run. And Field of Gold, this horse has trialled up. We know what we're going to get from Field of Gold. He's a positive horse out of the barriers. He was positive here at the trials at Waipa. He led and he won this trial by a margin of 3 lengths. I guess the track condition might be an issue here too, Leith. He does go well at the venue. Your thoughts around him? Yeah, he likes the track. On Nova Stable, they say he's going really well at the moment, but he wants a really good 3 track to, I don't think he'll like a soft track at all. All right, selections for the race. I'm going to go with White Noise. I just thought he presented at a great price at $3.30. He'll cop any type of track condition. If it stays around the soft bracket, all A-OK, but if it starts working into heavy, that won't be an issue for him as well with that weight relief. So, yeah, I'm liking White Noise. What about you, Leith? Yeah, I'm going for White Noise as well. You know he's going to be right there on the speed. If it's slow, he's going to be OK on the track. And Kelsey knows him, and Andrew Forsman, he's winning everything at the moment, isn't he?
He certainly does, and that action will be kicking off with coverage of the Punters Lounge live 11 a.m. on TAB Trackside 1. time to turn our attention to the harness code because it's a massive weekend for them with 2 Group 1s on Friday and Saturday. And we'll have a look at the first of those out of Alexandra Park on Friday night. Race number 6. It is the Queen of Hearts and it is led by Manhattan in the market at $3, narrowly ahead of Darling Me at 3.2. And you do have Stylish Memphis on that third line of betting at $3.80. I'm lucky enough to be joined by Craig Thompson himself. And Craig, looking forward to the Group 1. Who do you want to highlight first?
Yeah, good morning to you, Philippa. Great to be on the form. Obviously, the Northern Breeder Stakes last week is a key guide because all 3 of these favourites came out of it. And as you can see at the top of the lane here, Manhattan's off and gone. And the 2 main rivals are way back in the fog as we pick them up here in the black and white checkers is Darling Me. And on its back is Stylish Memphis. Now, she's actually racing in foal, the mare. She's gone to Captain Treacherous, and this will be one of her last starts in New Zealand before she heads to Australia. The second and third horses both ran the fastest last mile in the race, albeit Manhattan won the race. These 2 came from a long way back over the last 800 metres, and I thought they closed in late. I thought the 420 around Stylish Memphis, first time she's had a barrier draw, Philippa. Her last 5 starts, barrier 9. She gets a good barrier draw, handy spot here. I just thought there's enough in the 420 to back her. Darling Me, they put the blinds on. I expect a big improvement on her. A little bit handier this week than last week, and yeah, Manhattan with her gate speed, obvious top 3 for me.
So Stylish Memphis is the one, though, not just because of the price?
Well, I do think just from the draw. I mean, she's a Group 1 winner in the past. She gets a chance to posse up a lot handier than last week. David Butchery's a great Group 1 driver, and I do think at the price she's backable.
Well, another runner that we've got to talk about, Craig, race number 7 on the program. Copy that. We saw him back last week winning at Alexandra Park, and he does head the betting at $1.50, but has a job to do.
Well, actually, the bookmakers put up $1.75 yesterday, Philippa, and they gave us a chance a couple of weeks ago over a mile as well. And I do think he's a little bit of overs at that. He's a 2-time New Zealand Cup winner, and he's a horse that, even though he's starting off 30 metres, it's a small field. So I think the gaps will close. Blair Orange will take the drive. Great to see Ray Green out of hospital during the week, and he'll be on track to see his Pride and Joy go round. He may have to run a track record to win it because Hey Bartender off the front has been running some phenomenal sectionals, and he's going to make the back marker work. The only way you can beat him is to run the legs off him. So I'm thinking James Stormer will do that. Will that be enough? I probably think not. He's just too good for them. Copy that. And he's in the zone at the moment. And when Group 1 horses are in the zone, they really get beaten.
They certainly are. Well, let's move down south. We'll go to Invercargill because we do look forward to the Invercargill Cup. Race number 7 on the program. It is headed in the betting by BD Joe at $2.20, just narrowly ahead of Self Assured at 2.8 now shopping, and you've got Spankum at $9, the only other runner in single figures. So we are going to highlight BD Joe, Craig, who beat a couple of the race rivals last start.
Yeah, this is on Group 1 day, Grand Prix day at Eddington, the last race, and of course that's Self Assured, the New Zealand Cup winner sitting parked. On his back is Spankum in the 1-1. The horse in the blue breastplate, the black and white checkers, that is BD Joe. So this is a little bit of a different version of BD Joe because normally we see him in front, rolling in front, normally controls the tempo and wins. Very rarely does we see him coming from back in the field and running past the New Zealand Cup winner, and he did this. Run him at 53.6. Outstanding time to win. His brilliant stand-start manners and a 10-metre advantage, Philippa, may be enough for him to win again. I'm tipping him on top purely because of that 10-metre head start. He's such a good beginner. You go back to the Ashburton Flying Stakes. He led from barrier 1. He controlled the tempo and he beat them fairly and squarely. I think he's in the zone at the moment. Of course, he's going to head to Australia for races like the Newcastle Mile. So great to have him in the country. Great for the club to have a very good field like this. You've got Miracle Mile winner Spankum. You've got Self Assured, the Cup winner, and you've got the Jules winner in BD Joe. Great field, as well as a Derby winner in Krug.
It's going to be a fantastic day. Make sure you tune into it. Thanks very much, Craig, for your time on the form. All of the action from Ascot Park does kick off. TAB Trackside 2, just past 4:15.
Shoots just in front. Troby and the favourites lifting. Oh, he got there in the nick of time. It's Cinerama. Cinerama's going to race away for the win in the Eulogy Stakes. It's SVR and Kenny Rock. Kenny Rock just in front. Kenny Rock. Oh, gee, it's close. I think SVR's got up. SVR a nostril.
It's the up-and-comer. It's Postman Pat well clear. Terrific win. Postman Pat a power superstar.
Yes, we bounce back to form with our best bets over the weekend. So let's keep it up, Leith. Who have you found?
I'm going to go to the Manawatu Stakes on Saturday at Wellington. Darcy LaBella. She's just getting better and better. Alan Sharrock's horses are just running for walls at the moment as well, so I think she's a winning chance.
Nice one. All right, I'm going to go to the Waikato Racing Club's venue, race number 2, and I really do like the chances of White Noise. This horse presents Like a horse will be in or near lead. Track conditions shouldn't be an issue. And Kelsey Hannon has won on the horse beforehand, as you can see in the footage here, when winning on Foxbridge Plate Day. He sits nicely at a $3 quote. I think he looks to be a good bet coming up on Saturday.
I am taking you to Friday for the Oteki meeting there. They've got a really nice program of racing there. I tipped this one out to you on previous episodes of the form. Gloriofilia, she's in race number 3. Peter Ditter, Michael McNabb is aboard from a decent sort of gate. As long as we don't get plenty of rain there at Oteki, the track's in good nick at the present moment. Gloriofilia has a lot of ability and should be winning on Friday.
And I'm heading to Manawatu, first meeting back for a wee while on Sunday. I'm going for a greyhound called Soldier Blue. This is him in the blue rug at Cambridge Raceway. He gets back at Cambridge and he just swings that little bit wide on the one-turn track. And then he's got to straighten up and come back at them. I really like him at Manawatu. He's suited to the two-turn surface. I think he'll give them a little bit of a head start, but I think he'll power past them coming up the home straight. He's just really suited to that surface. So note him down. His name, Soldier Blue, running on Sunday at Manawatu, race number 8 on the program. A couple of other tipsters have jumped in too. We've got the Whale with Major Talk at Addington on Friday. You do have 8 and 2 with Malforian at Otaki on Friday. And then Justin with Sweet Diamond in the Group 1 meeting at Ascot Park on Saturday. Those are our best bets. So note them down. Hopefully we've found you a winner or two. That concludes the show. Thanks, boys, for joining us once again. Hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the quality racing on show, and we'll catch you next week.